Question one. Why is it, do you think, that since time immemorial, man has seen ghosts in old buildings and on mountaintops and has seen beasts in the seas? What is it that drives us to tell these stories?
We got a lot of different ways we could go with that. One of the great questions, no doubt. Good to see you, by the way. Great to
Good to
see you,
see you
Wilson.
too.
Yeah, man. I don't know. That is, man, what are we talking about? I have a thought. Maybe it is some sort of imprinting of energy, maybe where things happen, where there's powerful energy, some of that energy can be trapped. I have no facts that support that, but I think maybe something like that I can get behind. The energy, I don't really understand it yet. So, yeah, I would go with that. Trapped energy. That's my
What
thoughts on
what kind of ghost do you see yourself becoming? What would you haunt?
that. Man, another lightning bolt. The kind of ghost that, like, I want to be in a chill area. I don't want I don't want some kind of crappy, like, I don't know. Like, I want it to be nice. Like, I want to haunt like, I want to enjoy where I live. You know what I mean? Like, I want to take up residence. So if, like, I have to share the space and haunt people, maybe the Beetlejuice house. That was pretty sweet. You know what I mean? Like, like not so bad, good music.
I see. So you're looking for like the cruise ship experience of haunting. You want to be attached to
Right.
a nice place, not so much like reliving a painful event. You're not even so much a scary ghost. It sounds like you're more of a party ghost.
I'm trying to look at the packages. You know what I mean? Like, what do we got? Like, what does this include? I'm interested in the all-inclusive ghost experience. You know what I mean? I think that's what I would like.
Yeah, you want that ghost real estate.
What
Well,
about you though, Wilson?
oh my gosh. Well, I would probably be the kind that like definitely makes a sound because I'm really into stuff that makes sounds. So I would be if I were a scary ghost, I would be the kind that's like woo, or the kind that like is moving things. So you're like
You're going for that really, like, experimental music vibe, like in the house, using what's there,
exactly.
creating. Yeah.
Yeah, I would see the afterlife as like a canvas to be painting some kind of fun thing on. I guess similar to your thing.
Beautiful thing.
Neither one of us would really be a really scary ghost. Even though I would, some of my sounds I think would be scary. But yeah,
You're right. I
for
don't
sure.
want like I wouldn't want to, like, scare anybody. I just want to, like, that's what I'm saying. Where I'm at is going to be important. Like, I'm trying to relax. I'm dead. Like, finally.
It's like retirement. It's like extra retirement.
Yeah. Yeah. It's extended retirement. It's extended retirement for
Nice. Well,
sure.
the reason I asked about ghosts is because I was curious about the concept behind the Mr. Cool music video for Play With My Head, which I had still hadn't seen. I had listened to the song hundreds of times and played it with you that many, but I hadn't watched the
Right.
video, and I watched it on like nice speakers and nice screen, and I laughed out loud multiple times.
Mission
It
accomplished.
was
Like,
like
good.
so, yeah, it was so funny and so effective and like well tied in with the song. Like when moments were happening lyrically, I felt like I was right there happening, and I just like, man, first of all, congratulations. Second of all,
Man,
just
that
yeah,
is
as a
so
fan,
nice
yeah.
to say something like that, Wilson. Appreciate that, my man. Thank you. That was fun. That was fun, man. It took way more time than I thought it would, editing, than it did any bit of shooting and any of that process. Like, that was the fun part. It was just all the little edits to put it together. Cause in general, it's just it's kind of stupid. So, so, like, there has to be a lot of thought given to the sequencing of all the things that, yeah, I mean, you got to go from ghosts to lifeguards to lightning. So, yeah, it was awesome, man. You know what? We don't know who was under those sheets, my guy. You know what I mean? Those are ghosts. So you fill in the space. You know what I mean? No, man. If if I had to be honest, I wish if we were ghosts together, man. Just like like let's keep it going. Let's keep it going in the afterlife, man. Let's keep the band together. Like you know,
I
play shows.
agree. I'd still be in my ghost car driving out to the beach, out to Craig's house to
Yeah, man. Like,
practice,
what's up, guys?
feeling
Good
those
to see
ocean
you.
breezes from the garage.
Yeah, man. Come on. Oh, should I drop this information? Oh no, do it live?
Oh, you got some live information to drop?
Oh, it's not fun
Got a
information.
hot
Darn. I
drop?
think maybe Craig might be moving out of that place.
Well, oh, but that's fun. I mean, it's exciting for Craig if
It's
he's getting a
fun,
new
but
place.
darn, what a spot.
Man, so the practice location for Mr. Cool is changing. Heard it here first.
Heard it here first. We're gonna get a couple in though, man. I mean,
Good. I'm glad we are.
well, we got it. Place is
Where's the
amazing.
new place? Where's he going?
I feel bad. This was Craig's story to tell. You know what I
Oh
mean?
man, well then we could save it for Craig's episode too.
That's right. And by the way, I just want to say thank you for putting the Craig out there into the man is an onion, and the layers that were peeled back. Like I just had a blast listening to y'all chat it up, and what a guy, man. I mean, that guy had like there were moments in some of those explorations of things where I was like, whew, Craig bringing the heat, man. The guy is super smart. That was a lot of fun, man. You guys crushed that. That
He's
was cool.
sharp. He's sharp. He's a really sharp guy. I got a lot of good
Oh, what a
sound bites
guy,
from that.
man. Yeah. Yeah. Craig's neat, man. The guy was like on nuclear submarines and then builds his own speakers. And you don't get to get all the onions all the time with him, man. Like that was fun. That was awesome.
That's
I
true.
did have a question for you, though,
Please.
Wilson.
Oh yes, you're allowed to ask questions.
Were you drinking salad dressing in that last? What were you drinking?
Ah!
What was that? I was like, it looked like Newman's Own. What the hell was that?
Maybe I should save that for our episode too, because what I can do is I can put you can have a poll or you can have a question when you post these
Mhm.
podcasts. And so the question could be like, what do you think Wilson was drinking in the
Perfect.
Craig interview?
I'm voting balsamic vinaigrette, dude. I didn't know what that
Balsamic
was.
is a great guess.
What that? It was shaped like a salad dressing bottle. No, like
It absolutely was. It absolutely was. It if I say so, I think it might have been a little bit bigger than your average salad dressing bottle, which not to give anything away, but that's your hint.
okay, okay, yeah. Let's keep that. Let's definitely reveal that, though. I mean, I was like fascinated each time. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to know what it was, and
We will
cool.
make the
Say that.
reveal, and it's a big part of my podcasting technique is having my drink game on point. A lot of the time, it's a LaCroix. Sometimes it's a LaCroix and a coffee.
I'm just
So,
trying to get sponsors, man. I brought in vitamin water today.
oh,
You know
please,
what I
dude,
mean?
vitamin water. Actually, I was about to shout Triple X
Perfect. Perfect.
or
Yeah, man.
XXX. I don't know how do you say that flavor of vitamin water?
Triple X feels different than what I mean. Like I probably wouldn't go triple X. I just probably go acai blueberry. I think that's what it
You
is,
just
right?
say the flavor. I think you're
Say the
right.
flavor. I don't want to get into those X's, man. Like I'm drinking blueberry water.
It makes me think of wasn't it Triple X with Vin Diesel?
It was definitely triple X with Vin Diesel.
That's
Hell,
what it
like that
makes me
was. I
think of. Like
never
it's an
saw it.
action drink.
I think though, if I'm remembering, I think that they did another one with Ice Cube. Am I off with that? Did they reboot it with Ice Cube as Triple X?
I think they did, yeah. I believe that's true. I mean, even with
Maybe they did.
access to the
Well,
world's
that's one of those
information, I'm
memories.
not gonna look it up, but yeah. I'm gonna choose to
No,
guess.
it could be one of those false memories. You and Craig talked about that.
We did, yeah, we talked about the Mandela effect.
I feel like there was two triple X's and one was Ice Cube. If I made that up in my mind.
Well, that'll be the other poll question that we'll ask our listeners after.
Awesome.
We'll crowdsource that information.
Yeah, let's get consensus for sure. Yeah.
So the other thing I wanted to ask about was the Gemel.
The Gemel. Yeah, the Gemel, man. What it is? what it
What it
means.
is, what it does, where it came from, what it
Awesome.
means to you.
Well, it's a cool story. So I played in an all acoustic band for years, um, called Salt and Pine, and there was another band in town, Remedy Tree. Remedy Tree, those guys are more like bluegrass, amazing, amazing musicians. And we were always playing on the same bills, like all the same kind of festivals and shows. So we've had a great relationship over the years. Um, and yeah, we'd always talked about doing a project together and like maybe play a couple shows together. So when we looked up what it means when two trees grow into each other, that's called a gemel. And that's kind of cool. And I didn't know that. So Old City Gemel are two trees that have grown into each other. And now we're going to be releasing some music soon. We've recorded a bunch of things, playing shows, and it's awesome, man. Like Gabriel from Remedy Tree is just one of a kind, talented guy, man. And his wife, Abby, is an amazing musician. So, Craig and I rock it together too. Haley and Garrett. And man, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun because even when Salt and Pine was first going, there were other elements of sound. It was just a three piece. It was me, Matthew, and Haley. And I always wanted to have, like a more layered sound, and now we get to do that. So there's like songs that have been a long time coming that now this is the right project for, and it's just so much fun. Everybody's nice. everybody's like, we're having a lot of fun in the studio. So yeah, long form answer. Um, that's what a gemel is for me and Craig. But in nature, that's called a gemel, and I didn't know that.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that story because I genuinely you had told me but I had forgotten. So I got to enjoy with our listeners
So it's thick.
the
Good.
whole story and the yeah, the multi-layered aspect of it because
Yeah,
both of the existing bands before had tree names. And that was
there we are.
the thing that I had forgotten is that it was not only like two bands and you're like, "Oh, this cool tree metaphor," but it was already two tree-based
Two tree
bands.
bands, right? And I mean, like, let's be honest. Two tree bands, one tree band. Come on, like, let's,
Exactly.
you know. But
Maybe
it's
two be
awesome,
one.
man. Yeah, and just another little tidbit on Craig. The guy is like, as revealed, I think during y'all's chat, he's newer to the mandolin, and you wouldn't know that. I mean, he picked it up and just, man, it's really amazing. Like the guy just, I can't say enough good things about Craig, man. I love him. He's awesome, and like that whole thing is a different instrument, so it's amazing what he's like already kind of like accomplished with it. It's pretty cool. I'm excited about these recordings, man. I kind of want you to hear them.
Dude, I would love to. And I agree about Craig's uh, facility with the mandolin. It doesn't seem like he's a new player. And he
Yeah,
describes how he thinks about it similar to me, I think, but he gets to this other conclusion. Like he's able, for him, the fact that the strings are just flipped into fifths instead of fourths means that he's able to just freely use the entire fretboard. And
yeah,
I can't go from A to B like that, and so I really admire that in his playing.
yeah. I thought it was also interesting too, just the way he looks at it as shapes. Like, and he just moves shapes around in his brain like that. That's what I mean. That guy was neat, man. You're one of those guys too, Wilson, man. You got it all, man.
Oh, you're very kind.
Come
You're
on,
also
man.
this. Well, you're a Renaissance man yourself, Nolan.
Sure. Yeah. Not with instruments the way you boys are. You guys are amazing.
Well, I have an instrument question for you. Does
Go
your
on.
role as a acoustic rhythm guitarist change from the acoustic band to the electric band? Because you're playing essentially the same instrument, the
Mhm.
same instruments, because also your voice in Old City Gemel and also Mr. Cool.
Yep.
But how is it? You got to bring a different energy, or is it the same thing fitting in different ways?
And that's really interesting. There's definitely a different like playing style that I take on in the acoustic project where like I have, like my own terrible self-taught way of approaching guitar anyway. So um yeah, I have this kind of like thumb and flick technique that has more use in more of that bluegrass sound. And um yeah, it's a totally different playing style, I think, than we're when we're doing it. And the energy is different for sure too. It's it's still me playing the acoustic, rocking the rhythm, but yeah, for sure, I would say it's definitely different, and mentally for sure. I mean, you know, um, singing is different too in that other project because I have other voices. So like, you know, Haley is an amazing vocalist, and she has always helped me out because she has this like incredibly sweet voice, and it sits so nicely underneath some of my gruff, um, gravelly tones. And that's the other cool thing about Old City Gemel is Abby and Gabby also just incredible vocalists. So the harmonies are a lot of fun. So that world is way different in the singing aspect. Um, than it is in Mr. Cool. But the guitar, still the same one. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you also, this is basically unrelated,
Yeah.
about the performance date that Mr. Cool has on the books at the Bash in
Yes,
Gainesville.
sir.
Are we? Can we talk about that yet?
We
If
can talk
not,
all
we
about
can we
that.
can we could edit it out. But I think it would be fun to talk about it because the event itself has some cool history, and it's
Yep.
been a cool road to for us getting there, and so it'd be cool
Yep.
to go there.
Let's do it, man. Yeah, I would love to talk about it, to be honest. I'm fired up about it, man. It is an undertaking. I will not lie to you. You have a lot of different things to think about in the minutia of the festival. Um, there's so many bands playing. We get to do it. Um, it is going to be amazing, man. I mean, the bands that we're bringing to town, the way the city's kind of embraced it. It's something that's it was a previous kind of event. It's different now, and then going forward. So we're really looking at this as like the first one, because it's like a redo of it. So, um, man, it's going to be amazing. Drive-by truckers are going to play, maybe Staples. It's going to be awesome, man. And then as far as like our set, I am thrilled, man, because I think the boys from LPT are going to be joining us for the set, man. So it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be awesome.
So that's locked in. We got some horns locked in.
I think we got them, man. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, first of all, it's when you're talking about those kind of guys, like I'm still sheepish around like amazing musicians, man. That never stopped for me. Like I get a little bit, even ever since I was a kid, just like amazing musicians. I'm always kind of like, oh man. So hopefully it all works out. I think they're super stoked to do it. I don't want to pester them too much, but I think we're basically there. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because Juan, he and Bryant, they recorded on the album. Um, those guys are amazing. And then we're gonna have two others joining us. So and LPT is already playing, so it makes a lot of sense. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
That's cool. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you about Gainesville. You
Yeah.
are somewhat new to Gainesville in terms of the grand scheme of your life, and I
Oh,
wanted to
definitely.
ask just like what's your relationship with the town? Like, how do you like it here?
Yeah, man. I can honestly say it's one of the best decisions I've made just in my day-to-day happiness level. Like I really enjoy living here, man. I mean, like I love St. Augustine, and St. Augustine is historically like so incredible. I mean, it's beautiful. I have so many friends still there. I've had great times in St. Augustine, but just like day to day life, driving, you know, um, the little things, man. I love living in Gainesville. I think Gainesville's awesome, man. There's really talented people who live here. I've made a couple really good friends, so it's been a good thing, man. I really enjoy it. I mean, how long have you been here? You've been here what, like
Uh,
years and years, right?
Years and years, in and out since like 2008,
Yeah,
back since the early aughts.
yeah, yeah, man. I mean, you're legend status in Gainesville. It's like That's the threshold, I think. Yeah.
Well,
If
I've been here
if you
long
got
enough that
before,
I could tell you some Gainesville legends.
please
I
do.
will just, or more, I could tell you of some. Like there are some characters in Gainesville, some people who have lived here longer than me, or at least were here when I got here, who
There's
just like
some
are
lifers, no doubt.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, like a friend of mine who could really tell the tales, a guy named Jimmy Sticks, who I hope will listen to this at some point. Really talented drummer, percussionist, has
Awesome.
played with a lot of cool people, and especially people in Gainesville, and like can tell you like any band that came through Gainesville, all of the old venues that used to be here, like especially in that period of time, like late '90s, early 2000s. He's an encyclopedia of just all of these stories and like oh stuff that happened at this fest or that fest and like which fest did they flip a cop car, which was probably one of the most interesting Gainesville stories I can think of. Or actually, multiple times that cop cars got flipped in Gainesville, because I believe there was a time that the football team won the championship, and famously,
There
at least
was a
one car got
time.
tipped. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That energy's here too, man. There is definitely an undercurrent, and you know that too. Is like once you live here, man. The truth is, the soul of Gainesville, it's a punk town. Like it really is, man. I mean, and what's cool about it is some of the people who've been here this long. It is family status, and like, I mean, when you go to shows, it's like people really support original music and collaborations and bands, and like that's I think my favorite thing, to be honest, about Gainesville is like there is a really supportive group of people for really like anything, man. Like Gainesville has all these like weird small businesses that you're like, how is that, like how can that be open? Like how is there like a vacuum store, on like 23rd or whatever? Like how does that exist? It's because people support local, man. I mean, like it's awesome. That energy though, about it being like a rock and roll town, that is definitely true, man. And definitely, like, I know we saw each other out and about one day at a gathering, like it's not a town to like treat people wrong in, or be a bully or a jerk, or you know people will let you know, man, for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is. It's a sweet town. It's got that small town energy, but it's a worldly place because of the university. I think
For sure, right.
the one of the places that we've run into each other, I think at least, was a peaceful protest. And that's
Exactly.
nice that it's a place where that could happen.
Exactly. And it happened, and with good vibes all around. Like obviously everybody's there for a reason,
Right.
and but it's like people like that can gather and there's no problems, man. Like Gainesville really is like that. I think it's like a high, I don't know. I might sound kind of dumb, but it's like people in Gainesville have a lot of character. I don't know. It's like there's good people. You know what I mean?
It's true. And it has a little bit of swampy energy too, which is, it has that like
Yes.
Florida, like there's the waters that like flow down to the Everglades. It's like the under something
We
down
got
in
the
the
springs,
aquifer.
man, right
Yeah.
next door. The springs. You want to talk about mystical energy? You want to go into natural wonders? That's right next door, man. That energy's there. We're talking about some of the most beautiful area of Florida and some of the swampiest, most resilient area of Florida too, man. Like it's definitely the swamp. But and I guess I would also say there is so much to do outdoors in Gainesville. Like they really have invested in that well. Like I never got on a bike since I was a kid. And man, I've been, since I've moved here, like I've been like doing stuff like that. Like there's also like awesome trails. There's stuff they've preserved really well. Even Depot Park, where the festival's going down. I mean, like, what a cool thing, man. Like that's something that is awesome for families and kids. And I don't know, man. Gainesville's tight.
Yeah, and they do yoga and all kinds of stuff in that park too. Like it's also a place for different groups to gather and do all kinds of different community things.
And like St. Augustine's so saturated, right? Like there's not enough space for all the people that come to St. Augustine. Like
Hmm.
it's amazing, and that's part of the fun. But as far as like being outdoors and having areas of like, well, I mean, there's the beach. That's like, a big outdoor area, I guess. But um, I don't know. It's different. It's different. And it's been good. It's been good. I'm glad I did it.
I really feel the vibe of the beach and of the sea, especially when we're playing in that heavenly garage.
Come on,
Do
man.
you feel
Yeah.
do you feel like the beach comes out in your music?
No doubt. And what's funny is I didn't realize that. Like it was non-intentional. And then like that, to be honest, man, is like that video, when I kind of realized that some of the sound has that kind of vintage, beachy element to it, that's really the origin. And I'm not going to take credit at all. This was really like the brainchild of Sabrina. I mean, like we were just kind of chatting it up, and she had the whole idea, and like, you guys should be ghosts on the beach, because we had talked about that ghosty sound and that beach sound, and like, well, let's just do it. Like, let's be obvious. Like, let's be right on the nose. Yeah, yeah, credits, all the credit, matter of fact, to Sabrina.
Was that a like did you draw pictures to figure that out? Did you just get a bunch of footage and then like put it together after? Did you have an idea as you were shooting stuff like okay, now we have to shoot the shot cuz there were so many like beautifully shot moments but then that were like laced together in this really kind of quick way and I'm curious
Right.
about the actual nuts and bolts of that process.
Man, I'd love to talk about that too. So I'd been involved in different music videos and different like productions involving, filming stuff, editing, but this was definitely one where I felt like the vision was completely cohesive. Like I had shots in my mind that I wanted to see, and then we just built a story around that. Like I wanted to see ghosts on a beach, right? Like that shot was obvious. Like I wanted to see what that looks like. And but then yeah, some of the rest of the stuff, they were like super strong images. So shooting them, I mean, obviously we had like the amazing, talented Dan Flores to grab that footage. I mean, like, that guy um nailed it. Nailed it. But yeah, some of that it was all storyboarded. I mean, it wasn't very good. I'm not very I'm not very good at that. But definitely we had it all sequenced out, and it really did came together. We had to shoot it in 2 days. It couldn't be done on the same day, which there's a little lack, I guess, of cohesiveness, or what's that called? My words are escaping me.
Oh,
Continuity. Continuity.
continuity.
Yeah. So the continuity wasn't there exactly in the environment, because we had a really sunny day and a really, overcast day. And weirdly though, I think it helped with like editing though, like because it like jumps you kind of out of this reality back and forth. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know, but um the idea was always to do it on an overcast day, and then we got lucky because the day got, of course, rescheduled last second, and then of course again. So just the day we did it, it couldn't have been more perfect. We tried to go to this one beach um where we thought it might work out, and a storm had like erased the beach. Like there was nothing to use. It was crazy. So then we just went to another spot and made it happen. So some of that stuff was super lucky, but yeah, like the ideas behind the scenes were definitely all mapped out.
Do you feel like this is a theme? Like, do you generally in your and we can get as meta as you want here, but do you feel like you
Dude.
generally in your life like to storyboard things out? Like, is that part of your process? Like, when you start a song, when you start a band or a project, do you kind of
Mm-hmm.
see the steps in your head, or is it putting things together as you go?
And that is a great question, man. I think in anything, maybe creatively, I get to the details, I think, after the very strong vision. Like if I'm even writing songs, like, you know, putting things to music, there's something that jumps out right away, something that invokes like that creative spirit. It might just be a phrase, it might be a very vivid idea, like ghosts on a beach. Um, and once that's there, I feel like that's when the details become easier. Like in that you're just it's more like building a puzzle. It's like you put a I don't know, like I like puzzling. I don't know if you do, Wilson. I don't know if that's a
Oh,
hobby.
I do. Yeah, and it's more Andrea's thing, but she's brought me into that world. And we just finished a
Man,
beautiful
been
wooden
puzzling.
puzzle that our roommate got for us that's like a purple octopus and it's all sea themed
That's
shapes. It's
awesome, man.
really, really cool.
Got into puzzling at a young age, actually, man. That was definitely like me and Pops. We were rocking puzzles. Anyways, I say all that to say if you're gonna approach a puzzle, you do the border. Like you just do the border, like the thing that houses the puzzle, and everything works after that. If you try to start building the face or whatever it is, it's going to be harder. So I think that if you have like, I guess maybe that to answer the question, yeah, I usually end up doing like storyboarding like close to when we're about to do it, you know. And if we're not just talking about making a video or something, also kind of with music, you know, like have an idea and know what it is, and then the rest comes together.
What do you hope that people get out of the music? Because you're someone who really like you give that nice heartfelt like mantra kind of delivery of the lyrics, and like you can tell that there's images that come from real felt places. Like what are you trying to give to people?
Kudos to you. These are awesome questions, man. I am thrilled to be on this, man. Like Wilson, man, what can I say, dude? What a great question. You know, that's really interesting. And what I might even just go towards there is like I used to write songs all the time. Like I wrote songs in my room by myself, not to be shown to anyone. I liked it. I was learning how to play the guitar. And that's still how I write things now. What's weird about that is in the beginning, it was more just like doing things like in private. So, like the idea of making it because you're going to show somebody else. Um, I mean, like, I definitely, a lot of those songs are like about probably myself or about like, it is definitely, I guess it's personal music. I mean, so like, I hope that if somebody hears it, they're affected emotionally in the same way. Like not specific. Hopefully, I'm not too on the nose and always about myself, but yeah, just you know, I would hope someone just feels the emotion of the music married with what I'm saying. I mean, you know, even we were talking about like a phrase will come in your mind. What does that sound like? What does that mean? What is the meaning of that phrase sound like? What are the sounds? And like I think I would say that that was the thing I was most proud of on that last album. I think that happened in Envy, where the yeah the music, the emotion of what that might be, I felt was like in the music itself. So hopefully that translated.
Do you think you've ever inspired someone to pick up the guitar?
Man,
I'll insert my
boy,
own
they should not
expectation, which
watch
is
me.
yes. Having seen you played many times, I would venture to guess that the answer is yes, but I don't know. What do you think?
Oh, you're so sweet, man. Hopefully they don't try to play like I do, because that's not a good idea. Again, like I taught myself. I don't, you know, I think that might have been hurtful in the sense like you. I mean, you have a wealth of music knowledge. You studied it. You trained in it. The way I play is just the way I taught myself to play. So I have strange little what would you say, techniques that aren't necessarily good for being a classically trained musician. So if you're watching that, know that. But that would be really amazing to think that someone else started playing music either because they heard a song or like they saw us play. That, I mean, I don't think there'd be anything cooler than that, man. That'd be awesome. I know
Who's
you
the
inspire, Wilson. There's a whole
oh
generation,
stop.
the whole young generation, man. I know one in particular. Stoked.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be at your house later today.
That's right.
Teaching it up, jamming it out with Eamon.
Mm-hmm. Man,
He's
he
he's
could
a little songwriter, man.
Pokemon Ninja, dude. I'm
Pokemon
waiting to
Ninja.
cut that.
And
I
we were like,
actually
oh,
thought,
go ahead.
well, I'm sorry. I was gonna say like I've been working on some like solo songs and whatnot, and I thought it might be kind of awesome to put Pokemon Ninja on the track list. You know what I mean? Like
It
get
would
that
make a
thing out there, man.
great interlude.
Yeah, Pokemon Ninja is pretty fire. I sing it during the day, like we kind of just sing it at the house. You know?
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah.
What would your Pokemon Ninja be?
Let's go, Pokemon Ninja. Well, I don't want to say something obvious like Hitmonchan, who's like already a ninja. You know, is it Gyarados or Gyarados? Like, which one is the giant serpent in the sea? How would
I
we say
always
that?
said Gyarados, but there's a Y in
Gyarados?
there. I have no idea.
Yeah, Gyarados. I vibe with Gyarados. He goes from Magikarp to Gyarados. There's no second stage evolution. You know what I mean? It's a
How do
quick
you
jump.
say it? How do you really say it? Hold on, my roommates. Thank God he just
Yeah,
walked
how
in,
do you
and
say it?
he'll know the real pronunciation.
Perfect.
Gyarados.
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 Gyarados. Right? Did I?
Gyarados.
Basically like a terrible fish.
It means terrible fish.
That's right. Exact. That's it.
Thank
Yep.
goodness. Thank you.
Again, like underappreciated. And it's I will say out of all the things that have come back around. What's that?
He heard that question and his eyes lit up. I was like, oh, thank goodness he knows.
Hell yeah. I was gonna say out of all the things that have come back around, pretty glad that has come back around. Seems like the new generation is all in on the Pokemon, man. That was definitely. I mean, I'm glad. I'm glad to see it. It's awesome.
I agree. I see that too. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
it's hard to argue with Pokemon, man.
Pokemon Ninja. Don't argue with that guy, man. Pokemon Ninja.
Man, a Ninja Gyarados though. Gyarados.
What's yours, man?
Psyduck.
Such a cool answer. Good choice, man. Wow.
Gotta love Psyduck.
Psyduck.
Psyduck is the
Great
most
choice.
relatable Pokemon to me.
If one of your attacks is called Confuse, that's like, you know, that's powerful, man. That's a great answer.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Underappreciated. Yeah. Did you used to battle, man? Did you ever get into it?
I did. Not as much. I was a Pokemon card trader, but I didn't so much play the card game. But the games on the Game Boy, like I had Pokemon Blue.
Okay.
My first starter, we won't leave this. We'll reveal this right now. My first starter Pokemon was Bulbasaur.
I mean,
uncommon choice, I'm told.
Classic choice, actually. Yeah, classic choice. I like to go with that water and that electric deck. I would do a combo deck. You know what I mean? I'd have my Gyarados, right? You know, maybe a Zapdos though. A lot of that water. That is it. Lightning or electric energy? Like, let's get that sorted too. Where's your boy at?
I said, Red. I was gonna give mine. Well, now he's back in the catacombs of the house, so I don't know if you can hear us anymore. But I will ask him after this, especially
find out.
It turns out we
say
get
it wrong.
super wrong, and I'll put it in the description or something.
Yeah, I want to know. But I paired those two together, man. It's a powerful combo. Psychic energy though, and I think there was one called Grass. Grass. That's fire, and then what? Like, was it Earth or Fighting? What was the other?
Well, I think they were both because there was ground type and then there was fighting.
What was the other energy? Take notes for your guy.
Oh yeah. No, I'll have a whole series.
Ground type.
We'll have our own. Yeah, exactly. Ground type. We'll have our own
Ground
episode of me and just asking him questions about Pokemon.
Yeah. Good idea.
We have had episodes similar to that. We had a Beyblades episode.
I don't know a thing about Beyblades, man. I missed it. Is that
let it rip?
Those are spinning. Those are like they you let it go.
They're the most raucous spinning tops you've ever seen.
Awesome, man. If you have some, I'd be down. I've never seen it done. I know about it, you know.
One of these days when you're over the house, Lunchbox has many, 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 and I'm sure he would be delighted if you were over and we said, "Hey man, would you bust out the Beyblades for us?" He would do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Makes me think of BattleBots. Remember that? Is that still going?
Is that the like? It's a real competition show where they're like battling
Yeah.
robots, or am I not? Am I not thinking the right thing?
Oh, you were definitely thinking right there. No, BattleBots. Man, when that came out strong. I was all in on BattleBots. You got like booby traps in the ring. You got like the saw blade that comes out. There was like the hammer if you got stuck. You know, some guys go with that shovel technique. Some guys go with like, you know, the, man, I hope that's still around. It's probably like on demand somewhere.
If nothing else,
Somewhere.
I'm
But
sure
I
there
want
are
it to
people
still
still
exist.
fighting
That was
robots.
awesome.
Me too.
Right? That was like one of the cooler ideas. Like, nice. Nice.
Yeah, remote controlled stuff, people battling them. I think there's also like remote control cars. I was on the beach. Another thing people do on the beach I didn't really know about is they do the RC cars. And they do because you can, there's long stretches, you can really zoom them up.
Yep. And I just battled drones. Let's go to the next level, man. That's what's
Ooh,
coming.
right,
Battle
I guess so.
drones.
Yeah, battle drones.
Battle drones.
Three-dimensional space.
Exactly,
I'm
man. You're
sure people
thinking
are
like
doing that.
Quidditch, mixing it with battle bots, blades.
Yeah, because all the hits would be so much more dramatic. Because if you really land a good one on a drone, it's got to like fall out of the sky
Oh
dramatically.
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We'll see it. I hope so. You know.
Well, good. If we ever, because you know how you can play like skate parks, you can play like race NASCAR events. Like, I would love to play music at a battle drones event.
Yes, absolutely, man.
Because we're kind of
Definitely.
punk rock, and you want to hear punk rock or something with a little bit of an edge.
I think that it's a great marriage between two worlds, man. I mean, I'm about that, man. I would definitely play BattleBots. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I hope it's still around. Yeah. I'd play BattleBots, man. What's another place you would play if you could like pick somewhere
Well, I
awesome?
would actually like just for the experience to play a NASCAR event or some kind of like auto racing event. So that one
Sure.
comes to mind. I'd have to lean way harder into the acoustic music to do this, but I would love to play a Renaissance festival.
Nice. Turkey
Full
legs.
full costume, eating a turkey leg.
Turkey legs, jousting, loot. Maybe you rock the loot. Maybe, you know, bust that out. Yeah, that's a good one, man. If you did the NASCAR, would you rock a jumpsuit? Like, would you go all out? Like, would you theme it up?
Right, that's the question. Well, okay, so the main distinction is am I trying to look like I'm a NASCAR racer or like a NASCAR fan? And I don't know. Also, how much time do I
Right.
have time to grow a mullet?
Oh man. You know what you just made me think about? I don't know why, but one of the coolest bands I ever heard of doesn't exist. And this is actually an Eamon idea. And I want this band to exist. So little guy, he comes to me and he says, I want to be in a band. He's like, I want to be in a band with 50 players in the band. He's like, you know, I want 50 players in the band and I want them all, it would be everybody as a Power Ranger. And I was like, first of all, if you walk up on 50 Power Rangers playing music, how does that not work? How does it like you're gonna look at it like that's awesome, you know? And then I was like, man, that is an awesome idea, man. Hell yeah. I'm like, what's the name of the band? And he goes, Rocker. And I was like, yes, Rocker. Yes, I would go see Rocker. Can
Me
you
too.
imagine that? 50 Power Rangers and the band is called Rocker.
Yeah,
Put
so
it
the
at Red
question
Rocks.
is would it be like the Dave Grohl gets 1,000 people together and there's like
Yeah,
50 guitarists and 50 bass? Would it be like that, or would it be a Power Ranger orchestra where there's like a string
right.
section and there's oboes and like
I feel like the vision here is rock band. I mean, we're talking about rocker,
so
like
a
I
bunch
think
of
like
drum kits?
we're talking at least 10 drum kits. Yeah. Maybe 10 of everything. So it would be
Right, a five-piece band times
a
10.
five
Perfect.
piece times 10. Yeah, definitely, man. Can you imagine walking up on something like that though? Like 50 Power Rangers rocking hard.
We could make something like this happen, even if two or three bands got together and
Yeah.
decided they were all going to be on stage as Power Rangers. That would basically look like 50 people.
Yeah, like 50, right? Like maybe you could get away with like 23 Power Rangers, like
Well, you don't
that's a
have to
lot of
stay
Power
on stage.
Rangers.
You're allowed, look, they won't tell you this, but you're allowed to set stuff up in front of the stage if there's a lot of people.
Right.
They'll cry about it, especially if their mains are like right on the stage, because then it can really get dicey. But
I'm
if
just
the
sitting here
mains
thinking
aren't a
about the
problem.
festival, trying to accommodate, like trying to accommodate that many Power Rangers.
We're gonna bring our own riser for the horns.
Oh, heck yeah, man. Good idea. Yeah, man. What a day. We're gonna be sharing the bill with Mavis. I mean, that's man, what a thing. It's a free festival. It's for the community. Like we're bringing a legend to town, and I'm just like so excited about that, man. And we have so many other great bands. We already talked about LPT, um, awesome bands from Jacksonville, Solo from the band Be Easy. Do you know him?
No, but I am a little familiar with band. Do you say the band Be Easy? Do you say band Be Easy, or you just say Be Easy?
I think in my like just phraseology, I shorten it, but I do think it's the band Be Easy. Yeah.
That's
I had
cool.
to, it was verified. Like I had to. Yeah, but Solo is actually someone I grew up with, man. Great guy. Grew up with him in Jacksonville. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a hell of a thing, man. Hell
I've
of a
been
thing.
listening to my
Are you
drive-by
coming for the full
truckers.
experience?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
check
was
out
about
as
to say
much
you
of
got
it
to
as
come
possible.
Saturday
Yeah,
too.
drive-by truckers, man. Yeah, they've got their intro to one of their albums. He's like talking about a violent car wreck, and the police pull up on the car, and Freebird is still playing on the radio, and it's
Oh.
like he's like, "Oh, Freebird was still playing on the radio. It's a very long song," and it's like, and their song starts, but
Right.
that's the intro to it.
Couldn't be cooler. They're coming too. It's such a neat thing, man. I mean, man, there's a lot that goes into it, no doubt. But yeah, it's gonna be great, man. It's just, we're doing the Sunday set. Drive by goes up on Saturday. A lot of great bands playing Saturday as well. Um, man, I can't wait. I'm pretty excited about it. What are you doing in between now and then, man? I mean, like you have music that you put out not too long ago. Are you working on new music?
I am working on new music. I'm gonna be making more stuff. So that's really interesting. I'm sort of on the side. I'm making a little bit more electronic music. I'm making some electronic music with vocals, some more like pop kind of stuff. So that will probably get rolled into one release that I'll probably put out not until like early next year.
Okay.
But then another one that's like kind of groovy, like somewhere between funk and smooth jazz.
All
That's
right,
just like the
man.
stuff I do in my leisure time, and so that'll be another release like the beginning of next year. But in the meantime, I'm going to be performing with my friend Cliff Dorsey, who's actually from High Springs, but I know him from Gainesville. Who's a really, really talented country singer. So I'm going to be playing lead guitar in a country band, basically, which
That's
has I've
awesome.
already done one gig with them and it was super duper fun. Really, really killing bass player, really killing drummer, and he's a super awesome vocalist. So, and they also are now featuring a keyboard player as well, which is he's really good too.
Man, that's awesome, man. I want to hear that. Sounds pretty cool. What's it
Yeah,
called? What's the thing called? Or is it
it's just his name. It's just Cliff Dorsey.
oh, okay, got it. Cool.
But yeah, you can look him up. He's got some stuff on YouTube, and he's really, really dope.
Awesome, man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, performing with him. I'm going to perform with The Ruckus, which is a
Very
really
cool.
cool mother-daughter duo. They sing always those family harmonies are really sweet.
Oh yeah.
So
Dang.
yeah, them and Kathy
Family
Trivett.
harmony is a different grade, is it not?
Exactly.
You got
Exactly.
years of that. That's cool.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what I got going on.
Awesome, man. Yeah, for a while there it was even like the Old City Gemel thing, kind of the timing of that with us doing our string of shows with Mr. Cool. There was a lot where I felt like I was, separating my brain into too many fragments. Like, do you find it's the same thing going into different projects, or like, because I mean, you're always doing many things. Like, do you ever catch that kind of brain fog? I think,
Constantly, because
yeah,
sometimes it's very distressing because I realize I have too many things to ever think about all of them at once.
yeah.
So in order to be fully focused on anything, even for 15 minutes or an hour, whatever it is, I have to like really forget like three or four big projects in my life. And so it's really, yeah,
Right. I
it can
get
be
it. Yeah.
frightening because it's like I only have so much bandwidth. And yeah, going from a lesson to a podcast to a performance to teaching a class during the day, which is a different vibe because it's a group of people and it's a whole different thing. And like, yeah, it's really, and to plan for all those things because I might have to plan for all those things in one period of my day. And so I have to be like, okay, 15 minutes for this, 30 minutes for this. I got to really parcel it out, and it can get dicey.
Man, oh man, oh man. I know that it can. I know that it can. And sometimes it happens when you're on stage. Sometimes you realize you're like, whoops. Oh man. I would say, and I guess this is just a vent, singing and playing. I want to say this to anyone who listens to this at any time. If you have minimally taught yourself how to play an instrument and sing at the same time, pat yourself on the back because that is hard to do. And I don't care what level you're at, that alone is something to be proud of. Like, it is hard to do, and I struggle still. I mean, if and in particular when you add like layers of doing other bands, it's two things at once, and like if you're out there and doing that, be proud of yourself. That is tough. Like, let alone playing like 10 instruments or something like you, man. Like, I mean, that alone right there is whew. And then project to project, the different trying to do that differently. Um, definitely. Just want to throw that out there, man.
Oh
That's
yeah, well Trey
still a
Anastasio
struggle.
famously said it is hard to sing and play at the same time. And the whole band agrees. It's like this video, it's really hilarious. It's like everybody from Fish and they ask like basically the same question
Sure.
and they all basically say the same thing in this really hilariously awkward way. But that's what he says. It's hard to sing and play at the same time and then
It,
kind of just looks at the camera. But it's so true. It's real wisdom. They lay it down.
man, well, it's true. That's it. It just is. Like, it just is. I certainly haven't mastered it. I don't know if, I mean, some people have. A few people mastered it, and then some, I think. But man, I guess I was just kind of really lean towards like, I don't know how you could go from bass to lead guitar to keyboards to everything else that you do, because like the capacity, especially project to project, man, I'm fascinated by that. You and Craig, like being able to do that is like, it's amazing, man.
Well, I think it
Like, I can't
helps.
imagine like the fog, like it's,
Yeah.
you know,
It helps to have that kind of spectrumy brain. Like I really find myself kind of wanting to jump around and like the way it feels to go from something that I'm really really focused on for 15 minutes to then really hyper focus on something else
yeah,
feels so good sometimes. And
gotcha.
so it's
Okay.
nice like to go from bass to then like have like the really this tight body and the tiny strings and like they're
Sure.
cutting my fingers a little bit, but it just feels so good. is how it feels to go from bass to guitar sometimes. It's like really nice. It's like a relief. It's like, oh, like I'm getting tired. Ideally, the show would just be I play one song on each instrument and then just like throw it into the crowd or something and then go do the
Oh
next
man,
one.
dang. Speaking of, man, that is interesting that it's like a reprieve, like that, like it. Do you think it makes you play both things better, that you're not like bummed out sticking with the same thing all the time? Like does or like if it is a reprieve, is it a happy reprieve? Like and like you feel like you play better
It
if you
is.
stay fresh on all things?
Yeah, more than anything, I feel like it helps me stay listening to the one instrument when I'm playing the other. So I'm
Right.
listening to what the bass player is doing because I was just doing that the other night. So there's times where I'm like, oh, okay, it's full enough with just the bass, the drums, and the vocals. I don't necessarily need to play a lick in between every single vocal line because I
Right.
just came from bass. I'm like listening, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's already full.
Got it. Yeah, awesome, man. Yeah, I've been working on like some solo music as well, and that has been kind of fun because I'm playing other instruments, which I like. So I think that's why I appreciate it so much, because like I'm definitely novice on some of the instruments that I'm trying, and yeah, yeah, that's been a lot of fun. So I know what you mean by that. It's like, oh, this is fun again. This is new. New is fun. Trying something new is fun. No doubt.
Exactly. What other instruments are you throwing in?
Little ukulele, little sound of the island. Uh, oh man, piano, and the most fun thing of all, vibraphone instrument.
Do you own
Oh,
a
I think we
vibraphone?
lost reception. Sorry, I think it might have screen might have we might have lost internet there. Do I own a vibraphone? No. No, I do not. I got to play on one at Pulp though, and it is so much fun. Have you played one?
I have. I find it very difficult.
I didn't at all. That's so interesting. I felt like I couldn't do wrong. Like, see
Cool.
what I mean?
That's awesome.
Like it's more fun if you don't have any sort of like standard. Like it is. It's just a sound machine. It's like it's so fun, man. And you can hold the vibration with your foot on the pedal and just play with like tones. And it's like you can get a high pitched bell sound, you can get that soft chilled cow sound, like it's, man, so much fun. I would get a vibraphone, but they are expensive. So like what a fun thing to play, man. Yeah, that was been the most fun thing to date, is playing with that. And a harmonium. A harmonium. Have you ever played
I
one?
do. I love the harmonium. It's, I guess, a relative of the accordion, and it has
Yes.
a keyboard that lays flat that you play with one hand, and then you're actually
Yes.
pumping it like a bellows with the other hand.
Yes. It feels less daunting than the accordion too, because you're not like controlling it, like supporting both sides of it using your
Right.
brain that way. It's like, okay, it's here, but I can stretch these sounds out. It's fun, man. Yeah, that is something I might get. I might get a harmonium, but a vibraphone takes up a lot of space.
I could see you playing the harmonium, and that would be good too because I could use that with Eamon. We could play that together.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Imagine Pokemon Ninja on a harmonium.
How could I can't imagine another way. It's great. Yeah, I think harmonium's the next one. Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, it is. It's been fun to like play on other things, record on other things. But I mean, to do it on a stage, like you do yourself, is, man, that's a different animal. What's the instrument you feel most comfortable with on stage?
It really, really changes, maybe even week to week. Right now, at this exact moment, I'm feeling most comfy. Okay, well actually let me totally avoid the question.
I think I
Right
lost.
now I'm sort of feeling uncomfortable on like every instrument right now because I just got a new
Okay.
instrument and that has put me in this beginner mindset again. I just got a steel string acoustic guitar after having played almost totally nylon string acoustic for the last like 10 years, something
Wait,
like
you
that.
have a nylon acoustic?
Yeah.
Man, can I borrow it? I need one. That's what I like. I was looking for one the other day for recording, man. That would be
Absolutely,
amazing.
man. Yeah, I got a nice one. I will absolutely loan it to you for your album.
Thank you. Okay.
You heard it here live.
Productive. Awesome, man. Yeah, I love that sound, man. I love it. Nylon strings and harmonium. That's a happy
Ooh, yeah,
family.
yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.